Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach. Like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Wow. Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Friday, April 26th. I look very official. I look like a scout. I look like, I don't know what I look like. I don't really love the way I look. I don't love the way. I'm not Joseph A. Banks. I don't love the way I look right now.
You look like your check's being signed by LSU this afternoon.
Well, it's not. I wish they were. I wish I had a check coming in.
Whoa.
We don't need to do that anymore. That was on Wednesday when we had Sierra and Maddox in there.
Just a little good luck charm.
Yeah, just a little good luck charm. We have a lot to talk about for you today. It's going to be a short show. Nice little sprint to the end. It is Feel Good Friday. Today we are here live from our new studio in the Indigo offices. These are our new partners. We are very gracious for them allowing us to use our space here, and very gracious for them allowing us to test their products.
If you want any of their products,
there you go.
IndigoPapers.com. Legit website. They spent some money on this thing because it's all full of graphics. So if you want to go check them out, get all of your tinctures, drinks, gummies, anything that has Delta 8, Delta 9. Be sure you read the label on some of these bad boys because the milligrams they do vary. It's labeled, but just don't go and pick up the tea because that is 100 milligrams and will send you to the moon.
To the moon. You've done it.
I've done it.
You've done it. Not great.
Somebody had to be a lab rat.
Somebody had to be the lab rat, and that was you. We got a lot to talk about.
Fine.
What, was it fun?
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
I'll always go.
How was the moon?
I'll go to the Looney Bin with you.
How was the moon? Was the moon great?
Yeah, nobody's there.
You know what? I'm on talking.
There we go. There we go. Loosen up. It's Friday.
Yeah, you're right. Like, boom. There we go.
Now he feels good.
Yeah, a lot to talk about today. You know, obviously, we talked a little bit about throughout the course of the week about LSU baseball, right? Looking forward to this weekend and what we want to see from LSU and what I think they need to do. I said I think a sweep is necessary this weekend. Obviously, winning the series is very important. That's probably the most important thing, but sweeping puts you in a situation where you have a little bit more room for error and you have a record that you can look forward and say, okay, if we just take care of business and win these series that we have coming up, we put ourselves in a position to get in that large bid, not have to fight our way in the SEC tournament. They obviously play Auburn tonight. They play Auburn on Saturday, and they play Auburn on Sunday. So we are going to get into the preview of the weekend and preview of what we expect to see throughout the course of
The weekend.
In other sporting news, before we get to baseball, the Pels are down 2-0. They did not play very well on Wednesday night.
Got boat race.
They got boat race. They played great on Monday or whenever the first game was.
Monday.
Played terrible on Wednesday. And got boat raced.
Never
really
close.
tried to go run the offense through Valanciunas early, score the first 11 points for the Pelicans. Didn't work out. Nobody else made shots.
I don't know if that's sustainable.
Didn't really work out. Don't think it's sustainable. Obviously, Zion not being there is hurting. So they are down 2-0, and not great. Hopefully they can kind of make it a game and make it a series and
Get Zion back.
Hopefully.
He said he has a
ruled out.
checklist of things he has to be able to do, which is pretty much.
We've heard that before.
I was going to say, put it on Zion's headstone. Like his last words are, "I had a checklist, and it didn't get it done."
Yeah, we've heard that before. Hopefully,
It's the only quote I know from him.
he is back on the court, but we will see. The Pelicans have to put themselves in a position to get him back on the court. But we aren't here talking about the Pelicans. We're here talking about LSU baseball. And they are 5-13 in conference play with 12 games to play. Y'all were 6-11-1 in 2008 before y'all at this exact point in the season.
Yeah.
You had 4 weekends left in the season in 2008, and then y'all won. Y'all swept through the last 4 weekends of the SEC. Y'all had a 23-game winning streak. Y'all went from, this team's not going to make the postseason to we are hosting. I am not saying LSU is going to do that. I would love for them to do that. I would love to see them do that. I'm not saying they are going to do that, but they have put themselves in a position where they are going to have to win games and win games fast. We've talked about that all week. They are playing Auburn this weekend. Auburn is the last place team in the SEC. Their rotation for the weekend looks like this. They will have game 1, which is tonight, Friday. They have sophomore Dylan Watts, who is 0-1 with a 5.66 ERA. Now, Dylan Watts only has 3 games started on the year, so he hasn't been a guy that they've relied on as a weekend starter or as a starter in general up to this point, right? Their Saturday guy is Tanner Bauman, who is a senior, but he's a left-handed pitcher. Bauman has 2 games started. So another guy who has not been in the rotation consistently throughout the course of this year. And then they finish it off with Carson Myers, who is their Sunday guy, junior left-handed starting pitcher. And Carson Myers has 6 starts. So out of the 3 guys, he's got the most starts. 2 of the 3 are left-handed pitchers. Kind of concerns me a little bit. Because LSU has not been great against the left-handed starters they have faced throughout the course of the year. Now, neither of these 3 guys have lights-out numbers. Watts has a 5.6 ERA, Bauman's got a 4.8 ERA, and Carson Myers has a 3.7 ERA. Now, that doesn't really matter because we've faced guys before in this year that has had high ERAs that have done really well against LSU, specifically the left-handed pitchers. So, with that being said, Jay, what would you like to see this offense do before we get into the pitching staff this weekend to combat their struggles against these left-handed pitchers and to knowing that they have to win as many games as they possibly can?
So, looking at that staff, like none of the 3 starters that they have actually scare me and that I'm worried about at all. But not only because it's Friday night, but because Dylan Watts is actually the guy that's throwing on Friday night. You go take a look down the stats. He's got a 352 opponent's batting average against. That's the guy to me that says, okay, if he's starting and he's going to be the one that's throwing on Friday night tonight, you have to get to him. Got to get to him, because if you can get to him, then we get in the pen. Now, I know this sounds like the normal Friday night conversation, and it kind of is, right? But with those numbers, if you can get to him, we know the staff's not good. They have a staff ERA of 5.94, right? Get to him, really start getting into the pen. That way you make those lefties the rest of the weekend have to throw, right? And if you can get to him, you start building some momentum. You start getting going quicker. And I think that kind of gets your offense off to where fast start lets the pitchers kind of settle in. And it doesn't put the pressure on them to say, hey, I have to go out and repeat what I did last week. Yeah, you kind of do. But let's go ahead and make it easy on you. Let's put some runs on the board. Make it easy for you to get in the zone early. Make it comfortable for you. So those guys kind of get to settle in a little bit because – let's be honest. After this week, the rest of this road's not going to be very, very easy for you to do what you really need to do to get into the postseason conversation.
Now, you were a left-handed hitting outfielder. I was a right-handed hitting outfielder, right? I liked hitting against lefties. Your approach against lefties is different than my approach against lefties because you are a lefty-lefty. I am a righty versus a lefty. Why do you think? And I'm going to give my take on what I think their approach should be against lefties. I don't know the scouting report on these guys as far as like what they have in their arsenal. But why do you think they have struggled up to this point consistently hitting left-handed pitching?
I think there's a little bit of, I don't know how, it's weird. It's something that's hard to put your finger on only because they don't have that many left-handed hitting bats in the lineup.
Right.
So I would lean towards maybe – they all kind of have looked at it maybe as like this is our time for us to go, and you try to get up and you try to do a little too much, and next thing you know, it's 5 innings in and you got 4 hits and 2 runs, and this guy's still throwing. Maybe it's kind of somewhat a little bit of that instead of keeping that approach pretty simple, keeping that approach trying to stay up the middle of the field and not trying to do too much in those situations maybe.
Yep. I agree, and I think part of that, like as a righty, right, and this is – I've always hit lefties pretty well, and then I got to the next level. I got to the minor league ball. I progressed to AA, and I progressed to AAA, then the big leagues, and I started to find out that I was starting to struggle a little bit more against lefties than I had in the past, and a lot of the struggles came because I was swinging at changeups, or I wasn't
getting yourself out.
Exactly, right. But why was I getting myself out? Because I wasn't seeing them, right? How do I combat that? Well, I'm playing in the big leagues in Detroit, and my teammate in 2017 in Detroit was J.D. Martinez. One of them was J.D. Martinez. And in the big leagues, I was having some success against lefties. Well, J.D., I'm playing against this left-handed pitcher, starting pitcher against the Mariners. And he does not throw very hard, and he throws sinkers, and he throws change-ups, and everything's kind of moving away from me. And so my approach was, okay, I want to see this ball up and out, up and out, up and out. Well, I go up to the at-bat, and I have 3 at-bats, and I have 3 very soft contact rollovers to the third base shortstop, and I'm frustrated. I'm like, I'm seeing this guy's not better than me. Why can't I get a hit? JD pulls me aside, and he says, hey, what is your approach off this guy? And I'm saying, well, this is what I'm looking for. He's like, stop. Why?
Right there.
Why are you looking for that pitch? I'm like, well, because, I want to see the ball. He goes, no. That's what he wants you to do. He wants to throw the ball off the plate, a little bit off the plate to where you think you can get to it and generate soft contact. He's not trying to get swings and misses from you. He's trying to get soft contact from you early in the count so he can extend his outing. He said, take that thought out your mind. I would go opposite. I would look for, hey, I'm looking for fastballs inner half the plate, and I'm trying to drive this pitch to right center, be on time for that. You're not going to swing at the pitches away. From that day forward till the end of the season, I hit over 300 against lefties because of that, because it took my eyes, my sight, and my vision and my mindset of, okay, because pitches away, you can see it, but if it continues to run away from you, you're not going to be able to get a lot of barrel to it, right?
And you're looking for,
you're looking for what he wants you to look for.
Yeah, that goes to that thought itself is something I've always, or at least for sure towards the back end of my career, started really understanding. Where it's a lot of times as hitters, we go up there thinking that, hey, this is what we want to do, and either not understanding or understanding and thinking I'm going to be better than you at what you do, in the sense of, hey, like, I'm good at throwing soft away and making you get yourself out. I'm going to show you I can hit your shit. Mm-hmm. No, that's why he has a job, because he's able to do that. So you don't go up there trying to hit what he does. So like as a righty, I mean as a lefty, for me, if I'm facing a righty that's a sinker baller, it's the same thing. It's like, I know he's gonna throw it, but why would I sit up there and look for the good one? Why would I look for the one that's outer half? That's the one he wants to throw. Make him start coming over the plate a little bit, and that's where you hit him.
Yep.
That's how you get him. So I can understand. It's like you're thinking like, hey, like that's what it is. And sometimes as hitters, we get ourselves out, not really understanding that either you're playing right into what he wants to do, or you already knew you were playing into what he wants to do, but you just wanted to show you were better than him, and then you, in fact, are not, because that's why he has a job at that.
Right. And so I think that your LSU sees a little bit of, or they're going through a little bit of that. Right, they are facing these guys, these lefties who don't have a lot of overpowering stuff, and they are giving in to what the pitcher is trying to make them do because it's not explosive, and they think they see it and it looks very good, it looks like they can hit it, and they either make soft contact or they're swinging and missing because they're a little out ahead of it, whatever it may be. And to me, that was like the biggest thing that I was able to learn from JD was, hey, sometimes your plan that you think that you're doing is counterproductive of what you actually need to do.
Because they know your plan going in. Like,
well, they know what they're trying to do.
Well, they know what they're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah, like
so
they're trying to execute what their strengths are. You know?
My plan was falling into what their plan was for themselves. Hey, I'm going to throw this ball. I'm going to work on the corner. I'm going to start kind of extending away from the corner. And as a hitter, you see the ball there and it just kind of runs away and you don't get the good contact. Now, when I stopped doing that, I started taking those pitches. Another ball. So now the guy's got to come back over the plate a little bit more, and you get more pitches to hit. Same thing with a guy who spins it, right? A righty slider. Oh, I know this guy throws a bunch of sliders. I'm going to sit slider. Well, no, that's not right. Because you sit slider, what if he throws you the slider down away for strikes? You're going to swing at those?
For strikes. What if he throws you the bastard wants to start? Yeah. And that's, you're looking spin, you swing spin, you don't hit spin.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, well, get off of that. And that's when he flips the one that he just hangs in the zone, and now you don't hit it. And instead of saying, what am I doing?
You can sit slider, just sit location. Right? Hey, I'm going to sit slider, but I'm not going to sit slider every pitch. I'm not going to look at the slider away. I'm looking for the slider over the plate. Right? And so it kind of hones in your approach, and I think sometimes it's as simple as that. Hey, let's take away from trying to cover the whole plate, and let's only cover a little bit of part of the plate, and let's make this guy come to us, because Jay just mentioned it. Their starters' numbers aren't great, right? So let's force this guy into the zone and not help him out.
The back half of my career, I really started understanding it really didn't matter who the pitcher was and what he was trying to do. I needed to understand that. I needed to understand what is it that this guy's trying to do. What is it that he excels at? What is it that he wants to do? What is it that he goes to when he's in trouble? And then you understand that, and then you put it into the bag of, okay, now let me make sure I make all of that come to the center of the plate.
Yep.
Whatever it is that he's trying to do, to the center of the plate. So if I see a guy that I know is a righty who throws a cutter in, if I get that fastball that looks like it's starting over the middle of the plate, unless I know he's got the four seam too that he throws a lot, I'm probably just going to take it, because it's probably going to be the cutter that's going to run off and in, and that's the one he wants me to swing at. I needed to see it outer half of the plate first. Make that come to the middle of the plate, and that's how you start getting these dudes. Because once you start feeding into what they do and what they know they want to do, that's how they end up going these extended outings and getting what they want out of it.
Yeah, that's when you look up and you're in the fifth and you go, he doesn't even have anything.
Right.
But he's like,
whether he had it or whether he doesn't.
But you're playing his game. You're like, I realize this. Like, we realized it too late.
Yeah.
Like, you could have gotten this guy, because I feel like it's the guys, whether it's left-handed, right-handed, it doesn't really matter. But it's the guys that don't have the overpowering stuff. Which, like, all right, I know he throws 96, 98. And, like, you have a different approach there when it's the guys that kind of are more meticulous with how they pitch you. And it's like, you watch him warm up and you watch him throw. It's like, I can get this guy. You look at the ERA, it's like, oh, he's hovering around, like, 4 or 5. It's like, all right. You're like, all right, I'm better than him. Like, that's when they go up with that approach. And I don't know if LSU's doing that, but I can see how you can fall into that mindset. Because for LSU, that's where they've gotten in trouble when you see the strikeout numbers and not getting runners on base. It's like, especially like specifically for the Paxton Klink situation, when you say every time you look up, it feels like it's 0-2, like early on in the year. It felt like that's kind of what he had, like a one-track mind of, I'm going up and I'm going to swing at the first pitch, or I have like a plan that he didn't account for, or it could be any hitter that didn't account for maybe somebody else is they also have a plan, and I know what you're thinking, and that's where you get into the total mind fuck of baseball.
Yeah.
Like you go down the rabbit hole of I'm thinking what you're thinking, but you're not thinking what I'm thinking,
Right.
but he is thinking what I'm not thinking.
It's like that. It's really like that. Get stubborn thing.
overthinking.
Because when you get in the pro ball, you get so you have to get really stubborn and like legit bought into your plan. Because you may go in the pro ball and you've got 15 at bats against this one starter. He keeps doing the same goddamn thing to you every time. He keeps getting you out with it every time. And then right at that point is when you say, I'm going to get his ass. I'm going to start trying to hit his best. And then he just keeps continuing to dominate you. Instead of you saying, no, dog, he's been good these times, all right? Like, he ain't going to keep doing this. Get his ass towards the middle of the plate. Make him start missing. When you can actually execute your stuff and what you're trying to be disciplined in, that's when you start winning. But like, I guess if we go into a little bit more of an advanced talk, like, and this is what you don't really have that luxury of doing in college because you haven't seen these guys that much. But say you are facing that guy that just 15 times he's got your number, he's wearing you out, and he's doing the right thing. Sometimes you're like, all right, maybe early in the count, maybe I'll move the plate, maybe I'll just get on the plate, take away what he's already done, and then maybe if he sees that because the catcher's the same catcher. Maybe you realize like, hey, he's on the play, so let's buzz him off, let's get him in. Then maybe you back up like those are games you can start playing at that point, but they don't have that kind of experience with these guys.
Right.
It's just understanding, shrink this thing. Stop
Right.
trying to do everything, shrink it all.
If they can have that type of approach, right, against some of these lefties and some of these starters that they're going to face this weekend, they have a chance to get them out of the game early, right? And getting them out of the game early is going to force Auburn to throw some of their bullpen guys, which they don't have a lot of depth on the mound, right? And so that is going to allow you to score more runs on Saturday and on Sunday, and hopefully take all three games from this team and put yourself in a position to continue this good play of baseball, right? On the flip side, LSU starters are going to be similar to what they were last week. You're going to have Gage Jump, who's going to throw again on Friday, right? Coming off his best start of his career. You have Luke Holman, who is going to start on Saturday, and then on Sunday, Ackenhausen is going to start again, right? And I'd imagine it's going to be similar to what it's been like the last 2 weeks, with Ackenhausen starting on Sunday, and whether it be Griffin coming in after him or Cade or whoever it is, right? I would imagine Griffin's the first guy out of the game on one of the first two games if they need him for the extended innings out of the bullpen. If he does not throw, he's starting on Sunday. If he does throw, I'd imagine Cade's probably going to get an opportunity to throw on that Sunday. And so, as far as the pitching goes, I think I think Gage took that step forward last weekend. I really do. I think that he is going to be able to go out there again this weekend, feel a lot more confident about himself. Do I think he's going to go 7 and strike out 14? No. I hope he can go 7, but the 14 strikeouts, I don't know if he's going to get that again this weekend. I think that he showed you, okay, I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm going to be around the zone more, which in turn is going to allow me to get more strikeouts. And it's not going to force my pitch count up, and I'm going to be able to pitch deeper into games, which is huge for the LSU bullpen going on to the weekend. Huge for them to win the 3 games.
It felt like Gage Jump was able to, like the light bulb went off almost in the middle of the game, where it's like I can challenge these guys a little bit because my stuff plays.
Yeah, see, and I don't even want you to be around the zone. I think we talked about it last week before they even played that game on Friday. We talked about, hey, man, like, what do we want to see? I was like, man, if we could get Gage to finally get out there and show up with a strike-to-ball ratio of 2-to-1 or better, like literally just pounding the zone and pumping the zone, he's going to find out real quick that his stuff plays at an elite level. Because then now – you get the swing and misses, you get the buckles, you get to late in the count. Now I can expand the zone. I can do what I want because he's that good, right? And I think it's more of the same. I don't want to see him around the zone. I don't even give a shit if he gives up 3 in the first 2 to 3 innings.
Right.
Keep pounding the zone. They've proven they're not that great of a hitting team. There's a couple spots in Irish and McMurray and Weiss and I think forget the other guy's name and Mason Manners. Like, there's a couple guys in there who can do some damage, but they don't have it up and down the lineup. So say you get in the zone early and you get hit a couple times hard. Don't get picky.
Yep.
Don't start trying to be perfect. Don't start trying to be cute. Keep pounding the zone because they don't have it up and down the lineup.
Yep.
And if he can set that tone, I think you're going to get a lot more of what you got out of him last week. Not him, I mean the entire staff. And if they can do that, I think they'll be sitting pretty this week.
No doubt. Attack these guys because, like you said, their offense, Auburn's offense, isn't lighting the world on fire. You have two guys who are really good, right? You have Cooper McMurray, who's hitting 350. He's got 12 homers, leads the team in homers and RBIs and average, right? He's their best guy. He's their first baseman. Then you got Ike Iris right behind him at 326. He's got 11 homers and with 48 RBIs. Those are the only two guys that are in the 40s, has 40 plus RBIs. Right? Then you go to Cooper Weiss, who's got 32 RBIs, 24 bags. He's probably the most athletic guy on their team. He's their shortstop. He's hitting 292. Those three guys are the guys that scare me the most. Right? You have some other guys that have 5 homers, 6 homers, 7 homers, but those three guys in my mind have shown. Look, Mason Manners has some good numbers, hitting over 300. Doesn't have a ton of pop. Isn't a guy that's going to scare you a ton, but he's got 34 runs scored. So he's getting on base. He's scoring runs when he is on base. And, he's a solid player. But they're not a team that's going to strike fear into you throughout the course of the lineup. You have two guys that, if you make a mistake, going to make you pay for it. The other guys, they're going to get some hits. They're not super scary. So as a pitcher, knowing that, I'm not going to give you an opportunity to get ahead in the count on me. I'm going to go and attack you. I'm going to force you to get hits. Yeah. And if you do that, you're going to have a lot of success on the mound throughout the course of the weekend, right? I mean, that's just as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you go back and you think about last year's LSU offense, if you will. Up and down the lineup, they were just such a hard out. Everyone was hard to strike out. Everyone put the ball in play, but everyone actually had some pop. They all hit for good average. So at that point, it's like, well, who do I attack? Right? Where do I go? That's what made them so good as a team offensively last year. Because at any point, you might have run into somebody that would leave. At any point, you might have run into a crooked number because they just put up 2 doubles and a homer and another single on you in that inning. Like, at any point, you might have done that. That's not this Auburn offense. They got 2 to 3 guys. The rest of them, attack them. They have holes. They have flaws. You can go and get them, and if you go and get them, you can pitch yourself deep into games. You pitch yourself deep into games, you help the rest of this team.
Yep, 100%. 100%. And it's a crucial series. What?
And do you think that that's how they look at the LSU lineup as well? Like, on the flip side of, like, there's 2 to 3 guys that can get you. Obviously, I think Tommy White's batting over, like, 340 now with 15 home runs, and that's the guy you circle. Then you have Bear Jones. And
18 homers. And you got Travinsky, who they're, like, you have more guys in LSU's lineup that have a chance to make you pay a mistake than they do, right?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, okay, I would say 2 to 3 guys that you're legit terrified of, like, they're going to leave the ballpark. And so that's what I'm wondering if it's like, okay, you kind of pitch around. Obviously, Tommy White said that's one that you just pitch around. But with LSU, they haven't been put in that position to where you can't pitch around him. Like, it's been Tommy White with 2 outs, either a single up the middle or he just gets on base and then it's 2 out, 1 on, and not a lot happening. So I'm wondering if Auburn is looking at this LSU lineup and going, hey.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're probably saying the same thing. Like, hey, let's challenge them. Let's challenge certain guys in the lineup and not give them any free passes and not help them out at all. But I think LSU's offense from top to bottom is better than Auburn's is.
Well, yeah.
Right? Now, obviously, numbers aren't going to show a ton of it, but I think even if you look at the numbers, LSU's offense is better.
Yeah.
Than Auburn's.
I was just talking about, like, same approach, because if you are legit scared of 2 guys in that lineup that can leave the park at any time, but those are, I guess, 3 if you put Travinsky in there. But I think they still attack Travinsky guys because it feels like the strikeout to hit ratio is such that you're, all right, you can go after him and get a K here. But I say that to say, like, with the mini emergence of Paxton Kling having Larson in the lineup, I think that changes things where
For sure.
Auburn has to look at the lineup a little bit differently.
And look, Milan's been swinging a hotter bat. He said he's shown a little bit of juice the last couple games that he's played. He has 2 home runs now. He's getting on base more. He's getting more base hits. I think all of that is going to help the top of the lineup score more runs and be more productive because they're going to have more opportunities with these guys on base than they had earlier in the year. And I think that's going to give more opportunity to Tommy White to get pitched to, more opportunity of Travinsky and Bear Jones to get pitched to without having like a ton of pressure on them to have to do too much with those little at bats that they have.
There it is. That's what I think it is. If I'm Auburn, I'm really, really, really putting a high premium on. Hey, if they're gonna hit Tommy in the 3-hole and obviously either Jones or Travinsky after him, then that means the late surge that you've gotten from Milam and the late surge that you've gotten from
Larson.
No, Paxton, really. Those two guys, I would think that they should be preaching. It's paramount that we keep those guys off the base. That way we don't actually have to go at Tommy in the middle of that lineup, right? If we can keep those two guys off and we can just kind of pitch at and around and kind of mess with those guys in the middle, I think they probably would think that that's their best chance at minimizing what this lineup can do. So I think in their mind it should be, for sure, let's try to keep those two out of there.
Yeah.
Because, like, if that is the case, which I think it should be, because you're not going to lose a lot of games if you just give up a solo home run. Like, you can make a mistake to Tommy and to Bayer, and it still be, all right, that was only a one spot they put up. As opposed to if we put these guys on base, then becomes that one turns into 3 real fast.
Well, even if you're putting, here's the thing, like if you're consistently getting that 1 and 2 guy out, even if Tommy's hitting a double and it's Bayer and or Travinsky hitting the double after, that's a 2-run homer. Like, is that going to happen every time that those two guys come up? Probably not. So not even just a solo homer. I'm thinking that they're thinking, keep these guys off. They're trouble, right? If you got one of them on, that means you got to pitch to 3 or 4. Then you got to pitch to 3 or 4. That means that could possibly 2. Then you got the next one on that could possibly be a 3-run homer. That's what they want to stay completely
far away from.
Completely away from.
And you know, the other aspect of the game that we haven't really mentioned is the defensive side, right? That's kind of hasn't been awful, but in some big moments haven't made the plays that needed to be made. Braswell on Tuesday night's game made a few plays in the hole that are really nice plays, right? Really good plays.
I'm glad you brought that up, too, because seeing him play with confidence on defense like that is going to be huge for him this week. But don't sleep because – and this is what we mean by getting it going. I don't mean to switch it back, but when we talk about those first two, sneakily, he's still hitting over 300 at the bottom of that lineup.
He's having a great – he's leads
so
the
when
team in
people
doubles.
thought he wasn't going to come here and be an upgrade to whatever he's done in his career, wrong. Right? And if he starts playing defense with confidence, I would only imagine that's going to seep into the bat as well.
Yeah.
That being able to turn that lineup over, I think, is huge too.
Yep. He leads the team in doubles. You know, so he's hitting ball. He's not just getting base hits. He's hitting balls in the gap, and he's putting himself in scoring position, which I think is a big thing at the bottom of the lineup for the guys above him, right? So, I've said this before. I'm not saying it but this is a series that is not only winnable, it is sweepable, and it needs to be swept. Like, every game matters now, and you've got to put yourself in a position to win as many games as you possibly can, and this is no exception to that. I think they do sweep this weekend. I really do. I think that they feel the pressure, but I think the pressure they're feeling this weekend is a little bit better than it was feeling last weekend. I think last weekend was a little bit desperation. This weekend's like, okay, we won last weekend. We feel better about it. We're a little bit more confident. We know what we need to do. We've seen what the formula is if we do it the right way. Let's do that again this weekend. It's not Friday game. It's not the Friday night game. It's the Saturday game. It's the second game that has been
The bugaboo.
LSU's bugaboo as far as not playing well, right? So this Saturday, I want to see them. Hopefully they win Friday, and then on Saturday I want to see them score some runs for Holman, right? Because he's thrown well, right? He's had some, couple innings here and there which haven't been great, but he's also not getting any run support.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to see them score some runs
now
on Saturday.
And I will go with this. It's not like I'm against the sweep or anything. The sweep would be awesome. I don't think it's necessary that you have to absolutely sweep, but there is a necessity to take every win that you can possibly get. But the reason why I say that is because going forward, you have A&M coming up, right?
That's what I think everybody's looking at this
But
for a sweep.
here's what we're not looking at. A&M scored, I think, over their last 6 SEC games, 73 or 74 or something like that runs. Last night or Tuesday night, they put up another 13 runs. That shit's stopping soon.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's stopping soon. It's not going to be that through the rest of the season, whether they win or lose or however it goes. So my point is if you can get out of this weekend with a series win, and or if you sweep, there's a good chance when you get A&M on the road that you just may run into their little bit of a low. You can get a series win there. So that's the only reason why I say, yeah, of course, you walk out of this weekend with 3 wins, great. I don't think it's necessary because I don't give a damn how good they are. I just don't see them continuing to swing the bat like that all the way through. That's all I'm saying.
My buddy says this all the time. Whenever you're like, if you see Texas A&M doing, or like how Tennessee did in their best college baseball team of all time, like they're using up all their hits. Like there's only a finite amount of hits that you got in a baseball season. He's like, whenever you put up these 15 spots and 18 spots, it's fun, but it comes to a point it's like, oh, there it goes. Like the other foot drops because that's what the game is. Like don't want to use up all your hits.
That's why I tell you not to hit too many homers in spring training.
Law of big numbers. Law of big numbers.
You don't want to get too hot too early, And so,
and to your point, like I don't know if you saw Milam yesterday, where he had a like they did player interviews, and he pretty much put it on the table. He's like, whenever we make a run through a regional and a super regional, people are going to forget about how this year started. Like so, that's how they're feeling right now.
Of course, and they should.
Right? That's freshmen.
That should be the mindset that they've got. I've talked about Larson, over the last week and a half. I think what he's doing in the
Dreams
2-hole.
about him.
Huh?
He's been dreaming about him, talking about it in his sleep.
I mean, I think what he's doing in the 2-hole, I think that also helps the lineup. I think with Milam and Braswell's doing at the bottom of the lineup has been really good, but I also think what Larson's doing at the top of the lineup has also been really good. Take the leadoff spot out. Obviously, I think Kling's is in that spot, right? But I think those other guys are filling in those gaps that you haven't had a lot of production from up until this point in the season, and that's only going to make your big dogs, Tommy White and Travinsky and Bear Jones, be that much more productive. And if they're productive and they're driving guys in, you're going to score more runs and you're going to win more games, right? That's kind of been.
That's where I think had to happen, right? Whenever you see like the emergence of Larson, because you saw them move Milam up and down the lineup whenever he was getting hot before the SEC. Then he starts batting 2-hole. He kind of slumps again. He's comfortable in that 8 spot. And same thing for Braswell, where he's comfortable at kind of like the bottom of the lineup. Kling, for better or worse, it didn't help moving him. So now he's probably more comfortable as a leadoff hitter. Just keep him there, and then that solidifies the rest of your lineup, especially with Larson being able to fill in that 2 spot. Now everything the board kind of fills itself out now, which is that's what LSU was missing. And so having these guys come in and play roles in your lineup, it makes it that much easier to fill out the card.
No doubt, right? And I think that
that's what's been huge.
And you're going to see them continue to progress. Look, Milam got off to a really hot start. Went through a situation where he had to kind of adjust to the SEC. Which do we not tell you that happens? Like it's a hard league. Like he's having a really good season. He's gonna have to, and it seems like he's kind of coming out of it. And he's adjusted, and he's going to continue to play better. I think Larson has done everything that you can ask for him as he's coming in as a freshman, and some of the new guys are starting to find their way. So. The offense is trending in the right direction. It's a matter of them putting it together and the pitching staff being in sync with them and saying, hey, y'all are doing well. Okay, now we're going to do well at the same time, and we're going to just finally do this thing together, and we're going to
be a team.
It's also a matter, too, of them approaching it and understanding that just the runner on second or runner on second and third in the 6th with a 1-run lead and or down by 2 runs isn't the only clutch time in a game now.
Right.
It's clutch time as soon as they say play ball. Like
right.
That's where you're at. You need win games. It's all clutch at this point. Every run you can scratch, every run you can save matters the most because you need every win that you can stack right now.
Yep. No doubt. There's no more let's do it. We can do it next week. We can do this. No, you got to
get them tomorrow. There's really no more of that right now.
You got to do it now.
And when you talk about offensively and defensively, we've obviously kind of seen Milazzo be in the lineup more, albeit because of the Brady Neal injury, but this gives you even more reason to put him in the lineup with back-to-back lefties.
I'm interested to see what the staff looks like this weekend with him catching
all 3 games.
I don't know if he's going to catch all 3, but 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, really, because it makes a big difference.
I agree.
They're comfortable throwing to him. I don't know if they are or not, or if it is going to make a difference, but if it does, I would look at that. Right, because they may have more confidence throwing to him. They may have more confidence being able to bury a pitch, knowing that he's going to be able to block it, and nobody's going to get to the next base. I don't know, but
I'm telling you, there's
interesting.
something. We've all met him. You've seen the personality. There's something to that whenever he is out there and he's on the field. Like, it's more than just the talent or skill level, because he has that also. But there's a calming presence to somebody back there where you know who you're throwing it to, where it's like, I can do whatever I want. He knows how to handle me. B, I trust him back there, and C, if it goes wrong, he knows how to fix it or put me in a spot mentally where I feel good about whatever just happened. Like, that's a huge part of what Milazzo brings to the table, and I'm excited to see him be able to catch these next two games just because of all of those factors.
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like that intangible that's hard to put an actual grade on, like an actual feel on. It's just literally you have to watch him play. You have to watch him play with multiple pitchers and multiple guys, and you start seeing something like it over time. It's not really something you can walk up to and be like, yeah, that's 80 power. Yeah, that's a 70 runner. I got to see this over and over and over again to be like, okay,
Moxie.
there's something going on here because it just looks better and cleaner when he's back there.
Yep.
I don't know how to say it.
Yep, 100%. What do y'all think? Give me your prediction for the weekend. We told y'all this is going to be a sprint of a show.
Yes.
So
I'm going to say sweep. I'm going to do it. I'm in. I don't think they need to, but I feel like they think that they need to. In the way that what happened at Missouri, regardless of the loss on Saturday, the little bit of fight that they showed, they know that this is their opportunity to get. And what you've said about A&M too, Jay, like, I agree with you. Like, you can't you're not going to put up 12 runs every game, like, for the rest of the season. It's not going to happen. But I think that they see this as just a golden opportunity in the way that you can rewind almost 2 weeks to where Jay's kind of had this shift in personality of how he's managing the team, loosened up a little bit. Milazzo comes with that. And I think all of that is kind of coming into, like, influx of, all right, boys, we've been dilly-daddling around a little bit. And when you really look at what they've done in the SEC, they're this close in a bunch of those games. They're not that bad. Like, I know the record isn't great, but a lot of those losses could have been wins, and I think that this is where they really kind of assert themselves, like, all right, you're going to start seeing on SEC now and all of these, like, don't look now.
SEC now.
Don't look now. Here come the Tigers.
And Jared. I'm just kidding.
You're gonna have
Speaking
a lot
of Tigers.
You're gonna have a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
If they go and sweep this weekend, they're
Yeah,
gonna be like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna pick them to sweep this weekend, and I'm gonna base it off of if you can get 5 to 5+ with 8 to 9 to 9+ strikeouts from Gage Jump on Friday tonight. I believe that's going to be the recipe that's going to get them to the back end of whoever they need to throw in that game. They take a win. I think you're going to get a better performance from Holman on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you win that ball game.
Yeah.
And then I think you're able to piece it together however you need to, because I just don't believe that you can't outswing them and outpitch them on Sunday. I just think where they're at right now with the 2 wins, I believe, in conference play, and having lost the series if they lose Friday and Saturday night, where they're going to be on Sunday mentally, it's not going to be in a spot for them to go out there and take a win when they just really don't have anything to cover. So I think I'm going to base a sweep off of that idea.
Now everybody's gonna think we're biased.
No, I
Because
just
I agree. I think there is going to be a sweep. I think that I feel like the pitching staff is going to continue to progress. I think what they did against Missouri on Sunday, coming back from behind, they haven't done that a ton this year. And they started off slow. They were down 2-0 after they had just lost on Saturday. After they didn't play great, they kind of made a little run.
Could have gone.
You thought, oh, they're going to start off hot on Sunday. They didn't. And Missouri's up 2-0, so you're like, oh, here we go again. This is the same type of Sunday games, and they ended up righting the ship, came back, and played really good baseball. I think that is a huge step forward for them. So I think that you're going to see them play a lot more of that type of baseball this weekend. I think they sweep. I think my guy has a really good weekend. I really do. I think he's starting to feel himself a little bit. He's coming to his own. He's having really good at-bats. Never tries to do too much.
lefty, though.
And I don't care.
Okay.
I think his at-bats have been playing that way. Like, he's not trying to do a lot. He's just doing what he needs to do to get on base and doing what he needs to do to be productive.
Do what he needs to do as a freshman to stay in the lineup.
And that, you get rewarded for that. Tommy had 2 homers on the midweek. Don't be shocked if he goes off.
Bear Jones.
You may look up and he has 4 homers on the weekend. But the guys at the bottom of the lineup have got to get on for him. They've got to be able to force them to pitch to him. So I think it's sweet.
So, PSA to I got Corey out and left. Be ready.
Be ready. Bring 2 gloves.
Helmet. John Olerud it.
Face
Nah,
mask.
dog. Bring a fishing net, dog. It didn't go well when the thing was that
Coach,
small.
look, next time let's get on the side.
Bring a net,
let's get some
dog.
vision on it. You know what I mean? Let's not, lucky to him in the face.
Yeah, I just took it off the dome, and maybe LSU always has something that gets this thing going. It could be
That could be it.
It could be the
And that's it. That's Corey's gonna get a lot of airtime.
yeah.
All the airtime.
He
Yeah.
says he sits there. So we talked to Chris Blair yesterday on the morning show, and Chris Blair had called him. He got his number, and he said he is like a riot. The dude is unbelievable. He's like,
I mean, you did not see the interview?
yeah, but he did the same thing. He's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I got no brain damage." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I'm making a joke. I don't have any brain damage." And he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "So they're gonna put him in the booth?" He's like, "No, I sit in left field every game. I've been waiting for a home run for maybe most of my adult life." And he goes, "It finally came to me." He goes, "I don't think I made the play."
No.
He goes,
you had the opportunity.
He goes,
opportunity
but
of a lifetime.
He's like, "But it might be working out for me."
Better, you get better attention because of it. You make the play, it's just another guy caught a home run ball.
You get a
You
hell of a
miss
catch.
it, you get the conk on the head, you get the big bounce, you get the nice interview, you get the viral interview after.
That was going to be in the radio booth for game 1.
Yeah. That's the move.
So yeah, just he
job,
wore
Corey.
one. He
Good
saw
job,
his
Corey.
opportunity and just put a header upper 90.
So we're all in consensus
consent.
of the sweep on the weekend.
One thing to look out for, though, is Auburn looks like they're trying to do a little bit of gamesmanship when you look at their rotation that they're throwing their best guy on Sunday.
Yeah, but their best guy also doesn't have a ton of starts.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, when you look at ERA-wise, I think they're looking at Gage Jump, Luke Holtman, them be playing a little bit of, hey, let's see if we can get one.
They're trying to sneak a win.
Because, obviously, LSU on Sunday, you know what you're getting. It's not a bona fide starting pitcher. You have the double-barrel action of Ackenhausen and, probably, if you're lucky, Griffin Herring, which is what I still wonder if Gage Jump gets into a little bit of, it's not going to be 7 with 96 pitches and see you later. It could be,
Right.
but I'm wondering if that Griffin Herring is going to be saved for Sunday no matter what. Is my final question.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to use him the same way we started using Lewis Coleman in 2009. Now, instead of him starting on Sunday, he is going, if we don't use him on Friday or Saturday, he's going to have a very, very extended role on Sunday. I would love to see him be that starter, but that's
And also,
obviously not the case.
Can you start recapturing the Gavin Guidry magic that you had last year? Can he start kind of forming himself back in the shape and kind of making a run on this thing?
This would be a moment where you almost would expect it from him, right? Like if it gets down to he needs that little,
It
adrenaline
seems like he needs
bump.
that, yeah, like that adrenaline. So can this be like the time of the year where it starts to roll for him a little bit?
Because the last time you saw him was against Florida, where he came up field to be a long fucking night, and he wasn't wrong. Like he was
It
dealing.
was a long night.
But that's the last time you really saw Gavin Guidry be Gavin Guidry.
Yeah, he hadn't felt himself, but that would be another great addition. You know, guys are going to have to step up. So, we'll see.
Sweet.
All right, great sprint, nice. You want to go through some seggies? I don't know if we have any seggies.
Sprint.
today.
You said sprint.
It was a sprint.
We sprinted.
What was I about to say? I did find something on here that I wanted to.
College Men's World Series odds looks like they are just as confused as everybody else in the
You
country.
see the Louisiana-based 7-on-7, 7-versus-7
That
team?
is awesome.
So Bryce Underwood, not from Louisiana, from Michigan, coming down here, playing 7-versus-7 with Harlan Berry, also number 1 player in his position. DeCorian Moore, also number 1 player in his position. And Keelan Moses, who plays on the other side of the football, but is really good, is on the 7-on-7. Plus, 2 of the top targets that LSU is still going after, also on the team. And the head coach would be Ryan Clark.
Saw that.
I wonder.
That's my curtain call. I was like, hey, shout out to Bryce Underwood and these boys trying really doing all their some recruiting for the team.
My curtain call. I'll give a quick one. John Emery.
Transfer.
Loved you while you're here. Hate to see you go, but love to watch you leave. Good luck, young man.
Where is
Figured out, he doesn't know yet, but he figured out a way to get back into the portal when he's graduated and didn't have a graduate year. But he got a medical red shirt from his injury last year, which was 7 games into the season. And then you can get another, an academic good standing because they took that year away. If you graduate, you can get another year of eligibility. So he has 2 avenues to get into the portal. Would love to have seen him
Good for
stay,
him.
but he was one of those that burned bright. Love to see Emery be able to.
Listen, I hope he lands
He
somewhere.
was just an
and has a
absolute
really good season.
blast to watch. I never knew it was going to happen, good or bad.
Yeah.
Just one of those LSU guys.
Well, we just really never knew when we were going to get him on the field, but when we did,
There was
there
There
was
were
some
some,
moments.
there were
Very
some
hot,
flashes,
man.
no
moments
doubt.
of brilliance.
No doubt.
One that could have been.
The one that could have, still can be, just not for
I'm
the
just
Tigers.
mean. I just mean in purple and gold.
I know.
That's all.
Y'all have y'all seen the Rams draft house today?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like
Pretty
that.
sick. I love that they do that.
I like that.
I think they do it every year, last 4 years or so. It's not always the same house.
I wonder where Cliff's going to be for the draft. In Arizona again? Kingsbury.
Jesus Christ. Tyreek Hill has confirmed.
That was going to be my,
mistake of the day.
yeah,
Yeah, I
10
saw
mistakes of the day.
Has confirmed that he has 10 children in a recent interview. Has had 4 children in the past year.
I saw that.
Which, if you don't know how anatomy works, unless he had twins, which it does not look like he did.
2 sets of twins.
2 sets of twins. Doesn't look
Or
like, he's gotten
or
4
quadruplets.
Yeah, they're not getting pregnant. Same girl's not getting pregnant 4 times in a year. It's impossible.
That's
Wow.
just not how science works.
Wow,
He's really out there.
he's doing
He's
it.
got kids that are burning the house down.
That's crazy.
That's why he went to Miami. He said, I need these no state taxes, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
he-
to get
Damn,
my
all the
money.
good stuff's coming.
I got to get all my money.
Charlie Woods hit a 352-yard drive
Yeah,
in
he
the U.S. Open qualifier.
also fired a 40 on the front.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's
okay
got-
though. I don't like people shitting on Charlie Woods.
No,
like
he's doing his thing. He's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm keeping receipts on you people.
Yep.
I'm gonna see whenever he's 19 years old and wins Augusta, just like old Paul did. Like, you think he's gonna be bad?
Yeah.
You know, jealousy is an ugly color on you.
He'll figure it out. All right. That's all we got for you today. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the weekend. It's going to be another beautiful weekend. We appreciate you sticking with us. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us, you like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods, the thumbs up button really does us a lot of good. Enjoy watching the Tigers. Hopefully come home with a sweep this Monday, this weekend. And I will be back. We will be back live in studio on Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. I may be a little tanner than I am right now. I will be in the Bahamas this weekend. I'm looking forward to that, very much so. Leaving
What's the dress code there?
later on. No shoes, you don't have no shoes. You get service. So
No shoes, no
very,
shirt, no problem.
no problem. That's where I was going. There you go. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Peace.
Banana Hammond.